This garden wasn't so lively in 2009 when Heather and Brett Ginsburg bought their older home in San Antonio. Rather than a vivid scene peppered with nurturing wildlife, it was jam-packed dull where clusters of grubworms chopped the sun-bleached grass.
I didn't see earthworms. That was another thing that was very strange to me. When I would dig down, because I started with a vegetable garden, I would dig down and I would never see an earthworm on my shovel.
Texas plants were new to Canadian Heather. Now in drought country, she wanted to conserve water and connect their children, Zane and Zara, to beneficial plants that support the creatures that live alongside us. Before designing the garden, they fixed up the home's exterior with a jump start from her dad and wife Kathy. The drought of 2011 prompted Heather's first plant list.
I spent that entire summer killing the grass, and it was actually, the timing was just meant to be because everywhere I would drive around with the kids, I would look around. Wow, that red yucca's doing good, the Texas sage is doing great, and I was able to see like, I want that, and then I would see something horrible, I'd be like, I don't want that.
Then she laid out paths to break up the monotony and excite the whole family in swirl-around discoveries. But she didn't overlook practicality.
When you take out the trash, where do you go? Well, do you have to go there or could you put the bin there? So we really laid it out to what our natural paths were that we always wanted to walk in the yard. My first idea was to incorporate some grass on the inside of both paths, and then I changed it to gardens because I did want to have that color and movement and structure and just something cool.
Rocks and trailing plants now cover landscape edging that worked to retain her granite paths, but didn't satisfy the natural look she wanted.
Whenever I could see ads, I would just get rocks.
She would go to construction sites even and ask them, can I just grab a few of your rocks and throw them in the trunk of the car and drive home with the tailpipe almost dragging the ground?
She expects her plants to be almost as drought tough as her rocks.
But really, I don't water. Like, I water things to get them established, and then I just kind of put things to the test, and I don't really water much. I think this last summer, outside of the grasses, I'm gonna say 2 times, but I don't even think 2 times.
Another qualification, wildlife habitat and food in some fashion all year long.
I wanted birds and butterflies and worms. I wanted worms, and now I see them when I dig because everything was so parched and sterile and dry. Now with the shrubs and the plants and the earth shaded underneath and the mulch being so important, when I dig, I see worms, loads of worms now.
She keeps our attention with dimensional layers without making the mistake of too much diversity.
If I stick to all green and silver and purple in the front, I won't have those clashes, and it won't be too messy, and I'll be okay.
You had also driven around and seen people that had Xeric-styled yards, but that didn't have a color scheme to them. And it was just a yellow here, a red there, a purple here, a white there.
Her clustering strengthens the magnet to roving wildlife. She didn't want to terrify the neighbors either.
Because we were taking such a drastic step getting rid of all the grass in a house that's highly visible from a main street, I wanted it to also look pleasing to the neighbors and people that live in the area as well.
Tall succulents, including silvery tones, command more attention when paired with different drama. She placed them too where they wouldn't poke anyone on a stroll. One thing she did not want to see was the soldierly hedge of Pittosporum. Its only purpose, really, was to shield their windows at night from a busy street.
She eventually convinced me to go ahead and take the shrub out, and I've been really happy with it gone. I haven't missed it.
We have that garden window there that we couldn't see the garden.
To shield the view, Heather simply framed the garden with a hedge. On the other side, next to their neighbor's driveway, she dumped a barricade of photinias for a gentler frame and neighborly chats. Moving to the backyard,
In the back, I wanted it to be kind of more of a party.
instead of the lawn party it used to be, Heather wanted more playful spots to hang out with the kids and friends like Beth.
I have the red, yellow, and orange theme going on.
To add a little plant spice into the picnic patio, Heather goes for containers.
We had some exhaust pipe that we found in our attic as we were working through the house. And Heather had the idea that she could make a planter out of it. I cut the top off, a square into the top, and then cut the edge off to where the two kind of fit together so that it was the same on each side. So for the end caps, I went to our little local hardware store, it's a place called Johnny Chuck's, and they worked with me to help me find the exact right sized caps, which happened to be sprinkler caps for the sprinkler access ports.
A foundling tire rim from Something Big sparked Heather's fire pit. One bed at the backside of the house was a puzzle. 6 months of sun in summer and 6 months of shade starting in fall. Nearby, Brett can step from the kitchen to the herb bed. They swap grass for eggs at the Z&Z Chicken Ranch.
Our kids like to pick them up and be in the middle of all of them with the little greens and hand feeding them and that. It's nice to see that. We just like our chickens, but our kids love our chickens.
I like having the eggs. I mean,
Yes.
It was a lot of fun when we were having some work done and the contract crew was here and I was cooking something and realized I didn't have any eggs, or I had just too few eggs. I needed 4 eggs for it and I only had 2. And I thought, well, maybe those chickens have laid enough and lay a couple more eggs. And I went out and picked the eggs up, like everything's still on the stove cooking. And I walked back in and the contractor looks over at me and said, "It's just like that? It's just that easy? You just go and get an egg?" And I said, "I just go and get an egg."
On her blog, Xeric Style, Heather pens their journey from projects to philosophy.
When she started talking about a Xeric-style front yard, I thought, oh no, it's gonna be rocks and cactuses.
That's one of the things he
and
said.
and nothing green, and it's all gonna be browns, grays, and rock.
That's what he said to me.
And so I've been really pleased that it's not that at all. The cactuses are there, but they're just kind of there, and it's the flowers are the showpieces, and all the wildlife coming in are the showpieces. And now she's got this yard that she doesn't really have to water much, but of course she didn't realize she's still always going to be in it.